we are experiencing a boom in development around the city and just outside the city. It's been unprecedented.
The biggest change that I've noticed is the speed at which growth is happening.
We've just improved leaps and bounds over where we were 6 years ago. Everyone that gets in it understands that we're here to serve. In order to serve, we've got to come out when we get called.
I'm just always help. It's my city. I've been here all these years. I want to help as much as I can.
To me, that was a major component of our success. It wasn't the things that I saw, it was the result of these people that brought it to fruition.
So Lexington Utilities, starting in 1923 with the town of Welcome. Southern Power wouldn't build to those small locations. So the city extended power to town of Welcome, extended lines to Tyro and Churchland. They extended to the southern end to Southmont. Of course, they did the town of Welcome. From there, they extended to Walberg.
Lexington's been supplying water for over 100 years. So early 1900s up to 1920, there was 2 centralized wells in town. A new modern water treatment plant was built outside of town, and it was designed to take water off of Abbott's Creek. And then in the 50s, the Tomalex Lake was built.
In 1928, manufactured gas was brought to the city. I'm not sure which company it was. It seemed like it was a Pennsylvania company. Some of it out of coal, some of it out of coke. I think they even used oil at times. Manufactured gas to the natural gas. They had a company to come in and replace all the lines, redid Main Street in 1964, and we were still tearing up 1928 pipe.
In the early 50s, the Transcontinental Gas Pipeline, which was run from Texas to New York City, happened to build across the western side of Davidson County. And so the city fathers decided it was about time to go into the natural gas utility business. 1954, they bought the manufactured gas facility and all the pipelines. In about 1956, they made a connection just northwest of Welcome with a metering station off of the Transcontinental Gas Pipeline and brought it into town, and it started to grow from there.
Later in the 60s and 70s, another treatment plant was built right on site, right next to the original water plant. The drinking water plant, obviously it pulls water from Lake Tomalex. Those 2 plants combined can treat and pump out into the system a total of 9.5 million gallons per day. And to this day, we're still using those 2 plants and Lake Tomalex as our water source. We've been in the drinking water business for over 100 years. It's pretty impressive.
When Transco, the interstate pipeline, came through Davidson County in 1954, we switched from a manufactured gas system to a natural gas system. And I remember when I came there, we had about 400 miles of pipeline and about 4,900 customers.
So in 1967, we started serving PPG. And again, that gave us even more excess capacity for growth of industries and residential and commercial.
Back in the 50s and 60s, there were 2 wastewater plants for Lexington. One was on the Swearing Creek River Basin, and the other was Abbott's Creek. The plant we have now was designed and built around 1985, and those 2 plants were mothballed and destroyed. And that plant was classified as a regional wastewater treatment plant. That was a first-time thing for Lexington, identification as a regional treatment plant that we were going to serve the region in Davidson County and not just inside the city limits of Lexington. 3 million gallons a day, roughly on average, of wastewater collected throughout the whole system. And that water is cleaned, processed and cleaned, and released into Abbott's Creek at better than stream quality, which is really saying something.
This right here is a sewer vacuum jet. We can actually use it to clean main lines with if we get a wet well or sewer manhole that is backing up.
The city of Lexington is a member of 19 other communities that have joined together, and they own a portion of Catawba Nuclear Power Plant. All of our energy currently that is produced from Catawba, and Lexington gets its share, and that's how we get our energy. Then from there, Duke transports it to our delivery stations for us.
This is what we call our delivery substation. Lexington has 3 deliveries, and that's basically where the city of Lexington interconnects with Duke Power. We get the power, it comes from the transmission line into the substation, and then out of this substation, we have circuits that go out and service other substations in the city of Lexington.
Now we use technology for just about everything. We have GIS mapping in our trucks now. When I came here, we were still using stick maps.
I mean, we went from pieces of paper to a spreadsheet to a GIS system. GIS system, was pushed by deregulation and also pipeline safety. We all had to deal with change. And the natural gas industry has changed every day that I walked into work.
We have an outage management system that actually can help us know where the outage device that we need to go look at. We've just improved leaps and bounds over where we were 6 years ago.
When I first came to the city, there was roughly 5,000 customers and businesses. Now we well over 11,000. A bunch of that came from housing developments being installed in recent years.
One of the biggest challenges in running a utility, especially here, both water infrastructure and wastewater infrastructure has aged. Some of this infrastructure is 100 years old. We're using pretty much what we started with. We've maintained it and kept it going, which is great. It's time to upgrade that stuff, and financially, that's going to be a huge challenge.
Nobody could treat wastewater. Standard was 85% removal. Now it's near 99% removal as far as the standard.
We've done quite a bit of infrastructure work. Of course, we built Delivery Station 3. That was about a 2-year project where we don't have to rely on another power company for shortages or to have generation to serve our customers. We serve our own.
With the gas department, it's run as I say, a business enterprise. Does not use tax money. Electric department does not use tax money. If the city wanted to give all the things that they give to their citizens and had to do it with taxes, our tax rate would be higher if it was not for the utility.
Almost every day I get asked, are you on call? Still get asked that, and that way they know that I could just have to leave at a moment's notice. Emergencies happen when they want to. We don't have control over that. If every emergency could happen 8 to 5 during business hours when our people are all on the clock, it would be beneficial to us and all of our ratepayers.
You never can plan for what's going to happen in the water and wastewater industry. Someone's going to have a sewer stop that wasn't planned for. Someone's going to hit a hydrant on the road that wasn't planned for.
And usually we can restore power to every customer that is possible within an hour to 2 hours.
And I think that's why we do so well with economic development, and people want to use us in this community because we're so responsive. That's because we're small. That's because the people that work in this community live in this community, and they're their neighbors, right? So they have an attachment to the community that you don't get from the organizations that cover states.
It is easier in a small town community. The response time was completely different.
That's one of the things that we can really do for you as a customer, because we're findable. We live here. We are infinitely accountable to the community because we are the community.
Firefighters and police are ready to go on their job at all times. Line workers operate in the same fashion. Some of the biggest challenges to me is a storm front or a storm that you didn't know is coming.
When a major storm comes through, those linemen are out there working 16, 18 hours straight. The first thing we do with our linemen, we teach them safety. That's the first thing. We want them to go back home to their families each day.
Water, when it comes and gets to us here in the distribution system to the customers, it has a lot of pressure. It can undercut lines when you're trying to make repairs in the hole. If you have any kind of cuts on your hand, you're dealing with wastewater. I mean, that can get into your system. We take a lot of precaution.
In the gas department, safety is our top priority. Our crews go through extensive training to make sure we handle gas lines safely. Everyone's trained to work carefully, communicate, and always follow safety protocols. At the end of the day, our job is to keep the community and the crew safe.
Hoping and praying every day that they're ready, because I don't want to be the supervisor at home that gets a phone call that somebody got hurt. You know, you can spend a lot of time worrying about them, and I worry just as much about the people that work with us as I do my own children.
One thing that I will say that I'm proud of, nobody got hurt on my watch. I'm pretty proud of that because natural gas can be dangerous.
You're not home with your family and your friends. You miss a lot of birthdays. You miss a lot of holidays because in order to serve, we've got to come out when we get called. And that's never at convenient time.
Drinking water gets treated and meets the standards, and wastewater gets treated. They do that every day without any expectation of reward. That's just what they do. And it's, in my mind, those folks are the heroes in my mind.
It does take a very big toll on not just you, but your family. There's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. It's just part of what the team gives up from being with their family.
Because it's not easy when your wife goes to birthday parties, you know, for your own son or for your own daughter, and they've sacrificed a lot for us to provide the service that we provide. They served our communities too, indirectly, but they really did, and they sacrificed much more than me.
You don't work this job, you live this job. These folks that work for us, they're a bunch of good people, and they care about each other, they care about the community.
We have a staff of people that are out there and they're working at night, in the heat, in the cold, in the rain, in the snow, and they keep this whole machine functioning. They do it because they love this town and they like living in Davidson County, North Carolina.
I'm proud that I was able to help it grow. I was proud that I got to work here. I'm just always help. It's my city. I've been here all these years. I want to help as much as I can, as long as I can.
They come to work every day to make sure that stuff happens without even expecting a thank you. They're on it. They're all on it. And it's pretty amazing. So without them, none of this could happen.
After 35 years, I believe it was my time to leave. But I think I left it in better hands than what I come there.
When I say my success is their success, it's all one to me. And I appreciate everybody that I've ever worked with. They're the best bunch of people I've ever been around.